Does anyone have a question?
Stuart,
Yes?
can you talk about intuition?
Yeah, it's a very good subject. Look, intuition is an important aspect of not only a spiritual life, but living day to day. Our first, you know, when we first, have intuitions, it usually is a direct link to the answer to a situation. Then we ponder it, we analyze it, we figure it out, and we absolutely tear apart all the creativity and the inspiration that comes with intuition. And I think human beings have to learn to trust their intuition. They have to learn to trust that part of them that isn't quite thinking about it, but finds, a truthful way of doing things. And we all have that, and we all kind of it comes and and then we begin to think about it and analyze it and turn it upside down and transform this pure insight into living and into making choices into something that really is analytical and in the mind. And the intuition often comes from a higher place in the universe. And human beings have to learn to trust that. It took me a long time, but boy, I trust my intuitions more than I trust anything that I think about, try to work out in my head. And generally, I would say 90% of the time they work out. They work out a lot better than the things I can conjure up in my brain and give me, and also they save a lot of time because you really hit the nail on the head, generally when you're inspired with intuition. And then it enables you to function and do things creatively in life and to understand that you have within you very deep insight into the way, you have to act in this world that we live in. And one has to trust it. You really have to trust it because generally it is right on. It really takes you where you have to go. Intuition about people, generally those first impressions about people, something in you shudders when you're around somebody, and oh no, and then a week or two later you find out that the intuition was right. So I have learned to trust my intuitions about people, about how I act in the world, and what I have to do in life, and I trust my intuitions. They take me a long way, and they also cut through so much of the nonsense that people put themselves through when they have to make decisions. And they can be fun, you know, they really can be fun, intuition, and creative. And, you know, I mean, for many years, I was in a business where I would say so much of it was based upon intuition. It was based on intuition. You could never reorder anything in the business I was in, and everything was totally its unique, whatever it was. And you had to have intuition. It was based on training and knowledge and having more than anything, more experience of what one is doing. And then you have this incredible intuition about things and how to make choices that way. And you trust them. You'll never negate your intuition, you know? Listen to them. Take a chance, and if it's the wrong intuition, you learn. And, the next time Your intuitions will be more on right on. But take a chance. Save yourself a lot of time. I mean, it's like the creative arts. So much of painting and sculpture and music, especially, is based on intuition and inspiration. And what the artist has done and the composer has done, they have developed the craft so that when they're inspired, to put, to paint the picture, and they have the craft to do it. They have learned the craft. Meditation is the same way. You're learning a craft. And when you have that inspiration, that intuition, you can create with it because you have the craft and a way of using it in your life. Does anyone else have a question? I mean, I trust my intuition much more than I trust what goes on in my head. And it really provides me with such kind of right on answers to situations and ways to function and interactions with people. And I've learned over years of doing it to trust it more than when I start thinking about things and analyzing things.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And there's always something in our gut, that tells you what your intuition should be. It's always there. When you deal with anybody, you have something inside you that gives you a real answer of who you're dealing with. And then you can create all the spin you want to spin about the person. And ultimately, you'll find out who you're dealing with. And it's really true. And you have that thing inside that always tells you. Well, there's that kind of feeling inside about the interaction with other human beings. And then we spin everything. Oh, but that, okay. And only find out later who we're dealing with and what we're dealing with. Does anyone else have a question? I'd like I've mentioned it before. There's this comedian, called Chris Rock. And, I'm not really a big fan of his, but I once saw a concert that he did on one of the streaming. And he's talking about, I mean, something that was really true. He said, when you first meet somebody, you don't meet them, you meet their agent. I thought it was so true. You only find out who you've met like a year later, you discover who the person is. You know, in the first couple of weeks, you're dealing, everything is holding hands and romance and this, and then, maybe a year later, you discover who you're really with. And what are you saying? And I think it's true. Have patience. Don't jump into things. Find out what life is presenting with you. Trust your intuition inside about who other people are and what they want and what they really want. But I thought that was very true. You meet their agent, you don't meet them. They're selling you. So, does anyone else have a question? Okay, if there are no more questions, there'll be meditation on Thursday, and thank you. God bless you all, and I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. Thank you. Bless you. Have a wonderful day and
Thanks.
tomorrow.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you.